the new Lord of the Rings TV show The Rings of Power takes you somewhere you've been before. Among the many familiar elements in the Prime Video series coming September 2nd is the dwarf stronghold of Khazad-dûm. If you've watched Peter Jackson's classic Lord of the Rings film trilogy, you've visited Khazad-dûm as the terrifying tomb littered with skeletons, festooned with cobwebs and policed by a particularly nasty fire demon. Now, long before Gandalf slipped off the edge of a smashed stone bridge, Khazad-dûm is a bustling kingdom where giant mirrors reflect light into its depths, vibrant greenery flourishes, and countless dwarves bustle about. 2 decades after Jackson first took us to Middle-earth, the Rings of Power presents something familiar, but freshened up enough to make the visit worthwhile for established fans and Tolkien newbies. This is a challenge the Rings of Power faces. In the last 20 years, the Lord of the Rings trilogy has ingrained itself in mainstream pop culture, from memes about not simply walking into Mordor, to Gollum impressions. Some never left Middle-earth, but for others, it's a question of whether a return is wanted or justified. To borrow a quote from Galadriel in the Fellowship of the Ring, the Rings of Power seems to understand that its quest stands upon the edge of a knife. Judging from screeners of the first 2 episodes provided by Prime Video, The Rings of Power makes a steady return to Middle-earth, offering all the things that endeared the originals to so many of us those many years ago, the breathtaking vistas, the latex prosthetics and even the occasional bouts. The Rings of Power takes place in the Second Age of Middle-earth, thousands of years before Frodo and friends ever thought about leaving the Shire. The series focuses on the forging of the infamous 9 rings, and the evil Sauron's earlier, mayhem-inducing run. Thanks to the longevity of elves, Galadriel, played by Morfydd Clark, and Elrond, Robert Aramayo, return as characters, accompanied by a host of new elves, dwarves, men and harfoots, short-statured ancestors of hobbits, all experiencing that sinking feeling something wicked is afoot, and the accomp. Rings of Power successfully balances the way it makes itself accessible to newcomers, fans of the movies, and more intense lore fiends. Though it remains to be seen how much the liberties it does take with Tolkien's work piss off the hardcore crowd.